Give me my cough, sniff, or sneeze, coming down with a cold again. Please like this video. If you find it helpful, please share this video if you find it interesting. And let's dialogue with one another. Good criticisms, bad criticisms, it really doesn't matter as long as you are advancing the topics of the discussion. I want to talk about a post that I saw on Instagram. If you have an Instagram account, I am under The Firearms Trainer. It's The Firearms Trainer. That's my Instagram account, and I'm usually active on there. I want to talk about a post where there's a El Monte, California police officer that has his duty weapon behind his leg, or to the side of his leg, and I want to talk about that technique. But before we get started, I want to talk about another issue that we're seeing out there. Well, actually, I haven't even seen that out there a lot, but anyhow, somebody made a comment, and because I'm driving on the road, I can't mention the subscriber, but somebody mentioned that they were a witness to the IPS security guard at, I think it was Target, that discharged his firearm during a shoplifting incident, and there was I think a pit bull or a dog that was involved. I covered that story. Another subscriber mentioned that an IPS security guard shot a canine or something to that effect. So I did a follow-up, and then I covered that story, and somebody in the comments said that they were a witness. And I don't know if this person works with the individual. Most likely they do. The reason why I'm saying that's kind of rare for somebody in security or somebody that watches these videos on my channel be a witness of something where there's an armed security professional involved. It just too coincidental, right? To have two security professionals all at the one scene, and it looked like the subscriber was backing up the IPS security guard that was involved. Excuse me. I don't know if you guys remember, I didn't criticize the IPS security guard at all when it came down to him firing at the canine. I didn't criticize him at all. I wasn't being harsh on that person. We were just talking about these types of shooting incidents in general, how it's very difficult to hit a canine because of the shape. But the subscriber went on there and mentioned that it was a warning shot, that he was a witness and it was a warning shot, and that he was there. And it just seemed like he was backing up the IPS security guard. I don't think the IPS security guard needed any type of backup on the forums. Maybe, but that doesn't help, guys. If you look, if that's your friend, or you work for the same security company, you're not doing that person any justice by mentioning it was a warning shot. You're probably better off saying nothing at all. But if you had to say something, I wouldn't mention it's a warning shot. In private security, especially California, armed security professionals are trained to not fire warning shots. And why is that? Because you don't know the outcome of the bullet. You don't know exactly how bullets are going to deflect. You might be aiming at the ground and then it's going to ricochet somewhere else. You don't know. And the fact that there's two shots, I'm really pressed to say that this was a warning shot or not. If it's one, okay, I could see, but two, okay, possibility. And going back to reckless behavior, right? So the local police department determined that it was not criminally reckless, right? But if you find a warning shot inside a Target store, you're better off saying that it was intentional than a warning shot. And being a witness, you're not doing your friend any justice, maybe injustice, or as a colleague, or maybe you work for the same company. I don't know. All I could say is I don't know anybody on this thread who thinks that it's okay to fire a warning shot inside of Target. inside of a Target store. If you think it's okay to fire a warning shot at a pit bull that's coming after you inside a Target instead of directing your gunfire at the canine, please, please, please let us know in the comment section box below if you think that that's okay and why. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I definitely want to hear from you guys. And maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it's completely okay. Excuse me. Okay, so let's talk about the LAPD gun behind the leg technique, or to the side of the leg technique. I'm subscribed to a channel on Instagram called Police Post. I think it's called Police Training Post, or Police Post. And there's a picture of an El Monte police officer. He's wearing, I don't know, maybe a Dodgers baseball cap. He's approaching a vehicle, and he has the gun to the side of his leg, kind of canted a little bit. Now, believe it or not, this is something that I covered in a video that I made about a year ago. I'm not saying that this thread or this social media account copied me. I'm just saying I was here first. I was definitely here first. My low subscribers remember the video I was talking about, where a security officer, I don't know which one it was, but it was a video of a security officer putting his firearm in the back of his leg or to the side of his leg, approaching the vehicle. So let me talk about whether this is a good idea or not. Hey, what's up, Mike from the Professional Security Journal? Okay, so the technique of having the gun alongside of your leg, that has to be an old LAPD, LASD technique. I was a police explorer in the 90s. I watched cops a lot. This is a common technique that I remembered in the 90s. Some people say it was 90s. If you're saying it's 90s, you probably grew up around police officers in the 90s. If you're saying that this is a 2000s or 2020 issue, it just depends on the era that you professionalize yourself. This is possibly maybe even a 1950s thing, a 1940s thing, maybe 80s thing. I don't know. And what is the rationale behind this? It's kind of like, hey, I'm going to sneak up to you, or I'm going to walk up to you. I have my gun behind my leg. You can't see my gun, and I can get you at any moment. Some people think it's faster, right? Because you don't have to defeat any retentions. Is it faster? Now, when I say faster, what am I referencing? Is it faster on the draw? Can I get an accurate shot on target faster? I don't know. And if your answer is yes, you can, or no, you can't, how do you know that? Have you tried it? Have you pressure tested your own hypotheses? Think about it. Just think about it. I've seen some unscientific videos where they are drawing from the holster, I think a level 3 retention, and then they're also drawing from behind the leg. Which one's faster for that particular officer, security officer? Well, it's behind the leg. It was faster. Now, where did the shots land? I have no idea where they landed. I don't know. Was it a combat effective zone hit? Don't know. All I can tell you is it was faster. Maybe he missed faster. I don't know. But let's just say it is faster because you don't have to defeat retentions. Do you practice this technique on the range? And that's an honest question to all of you. Do you practice this technique? Because never, ever have I been on a range where they practice this technique. I've been to the Explorer Academy, where they teach you tactics. I've been to my weekly Explorer meetings, where we go over different scenarios. And why is it significant, Sean? Why are you bringing up Explorers? Because I probably had more scenario practice as a police explorer than as a real law enforcement officer. Do they teach you that in the police academy? Not the academy that I went to. I went to one, graduated from one, and then I taught, actually I'm still teaching at one. I didn't see that technique ever. Are they teaching this technique in the special operations civilian world? Nope. I've been through the SWAT Academy, and they're not teaching this technique. In all of my trainings that I've been to, and it's been a while since I posted every single class that I've taken, I've never, ever seen the instructor demonstrate this technique. So why are we using this technique? I think because it looks cool, right? It looks so innocent, yet it could be something deadly, right? You pull a gun out, you pull a knife, a bat, I already got you and you didn't even know it because my gun is hidden. You can't see it. Guys, if you are legally authorized in any state to pull your weapon out to draw, then draw, right? There's techniques that are involved where you don't have to point your firearm at somebody. And I'm thinking that the rationale behind these people, and I used to use the same technique. I'm going to admit on camera, I use the same sneaky LAPD, LASD, which is LA Sheriff's Department technique. I used it. And then all of a sudden I started thinking, well, you know, I'm trained a certain way. Why am I going to use this? This other technique makes no sense at all. But I think when people use this technique, they use it because they don't want the other person to know that their gun is out, I guess. And then number two, so that they don't have to defeat retentions, right? If you're approaching a sketchy situation, why not defeat your retentions? I mean, if you really have to use this technique where you put your gun behind the leg, defeat your retentions, defeat your level 3 if you have level 3, or defeat your level 2. And the gun, it's already where you want it to be. It's already on the side of your leg. So your gun is on the side of your leg instead of being in back of your leg when it's in the holster, right? And think about this. Okay, what are you gonna do when all of a sudden this person jumps out of their car or runs outside of a apartment building, open hand, and rushes you? And you have this sneaky technique that you have with your gun in back of your leg. What are you gonna do? You're gonna shoot him when he's running after you open hand? Okay, you're gonna have to justify that one. So what do most reasonable people do in that circumstance? Considering that this is not a situation where you have a 7-foot individual or a 6-foot individual versus a 4'12" midget. Looks like we're going in and out. Looks like you got a disparity of force situation if this person's rushing you with open hands and you are significantly smaller. Okay, but let's just say you're not significantly smaller and they rush after you. You're gonna shoot them? Come on, guys. No, you're gonna holster your weapon from in back of your leg. The gun's in the back of your leg. You're gonna move it to the side and holster your weapon. That takes, and then you're gonna accept your retention levels. Does that make any sense at all? And then now you gotta go hands-on with this person. Think about it. And then also, when you have your gun in back of your leg, you're possibly violating one of the safety rules, which is don't let your muzzle cover anything that you're not willing to shoot or destroy. Do you know exactly where that muzzle is pointed when it's in back of your leg? Because on a firing range, if you're using this technique, first off, a range master or fire instructor, it might just kick you out of the class because that muzzle might be oriented towards the person in the second row or whoever's in back of you. That's why it's not a clever idea to do that. You might have some innocent civilians, citizens, bystanders, witnesses in back of you. Law enforcement officers are arriving on scene. You don't know where that muzzle is pointed. You think it's pointed down, but it's at a slight cant. And let's just say you're walking and all of a sudden you drop your radio, right? Or you drop a pencil or something of significance, you bend over. and you have that weapon oriented in back of your leg, slightly canted. What's going to end up happening when you bend over? Now that muzzle is going to cover a significant body part of the person in back of you. So if you find yourself in a hairy situation, just draw, right? If you're authorized to draw. If not, defeat your retention levels. And if you're legally justified to do so, grip your gun. Grip your gun, defeat all the retention levels. And you'll probably be a lot more accurate. All I'm doing is asking you guys to think about these techniques that you see. Unfortunately, private security follows the lead of police, like especially the ones that are brand new or the ones that are more receptive to ideas, more vulnerable, I would say. They see these cop shows, they see these Instagram posts, and then they see that there's this cop putting a gun on the side of his leg or in back of his leg, and then they repeat the same thing. I can assure you, I don't know who, I do know some officers that work at El Monte PD. I can assure you that this officer is probably lacking in significant training. And in a way, I'm going to kind of fault the fireman instructors for that department if they didn't cover that. Hopefully, one of them will make a remark seeing that their trainees or their students are using this crazy technique, this interesting technique. All right, guys, so that's all I got for today. I'm looking forward to comments and the dialogue. Sorry I can't go over the live chat right now because I'm on the road, as you can see. But we'll talk soon. All right, take care.